Welcome to the Golden Nuggets.
This podcast is brought to you by Reka Studio. If you are struggling with creating content because you have no time, you don't know how to, and you are lacking of ideas, this is for you. For just $1, here's how Reka Studio can create 8 reels for you for 1 whole month. And the best part is, it'll only take 3 hours of your time. First, the Reka team researches your industry and creates a custom content guide, including everything from the best SEO keywords, top videos in your niche, and the best topics for you to speak on to connect with your audience. Secondly, we have a recording process that allows us to record high quality videos that looks professional, and it'll only take minutes to set up. Thirdly, our team handles all the editing, so each video holds your audience attention while still being authentic. Fourth, our team will schedule the post to your selected platforms on autopilot. And the best part is, all this for just $1 to get you started. We can only slot in 5 more clients, so visit tgnpodcast.com/Reka to find out more. Terms and conditions apply. Nuggets, back to the episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Golden Nuggets podcast, and we still have Divya with us. Take it away.
Right. So Divya, I think the part where you mentioned about how people who go abroad have a different perspective in things, and that's where they take more risks to come up with different ideas for businesses. I think that's a very interesting point. Maybe can you share about how your husband and perhaps yourself actually have gone through that journey, and how you guys eventually come up with your own idea for the business that you guys are running?
Okay. So, for me, I would say traveling anywhere is always sort of like a journey that you will definitely learn something from.
Okay.
And
Even though it's holiday?
even if it's a holiday,
Okay.
because you are going to meet new people and it's an opportunity for you to learn from them.
Okay.
When you meet people, you can ask them like, how are their lives? You know, what do they do? That's different from us. And in some places, you learn about how to slow down in life, because people are maybe a lot more chill and they take days as it comes. And then when you go to big cities, you meet people who are so driven and, you know, who have their life together but on a very tight schedule, and how they manage their time. And so you can learn from that, right? Yeah. So I feel like for me, the most important thing that I learned is to be authentic.
Okay.
From a lot of cultures and exposure to people. I feel like I've met a lot of people who are able to stand in their truth and to do the things that truly bring them joy and fulfill them. And growing up in Malaysia, I didn't have a lot of exposure to that.
Okay.
I had a lot of friends and family who do things because they studied this, and then so this is their path. And that is the norm, right?
Yes.
And I thought I had to do the same.
Yep.
And I only realized that that's not the case when I ventured out, because I saw people doing all sorts of things and making money out of it and sort of enjoying their job. I was like, nobody enjoys their job. Like, you know,
For the norm lah.
for the norm. Like, you know, people complain about how their bosses are like this, or how the job is so boring, or not everyone finds joy in what they have to do. But I get it. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But for me, I felt like this is showing me a path that witnessing these people do things differently is an opportunity for me to do the same.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing that you have seen where people actually made a business out of it?
Weirdest thing that I have seen.
Yeah. Perhaps weird to you lah.
Weird to me. I've not seen weird, but maybe interesting. Like, I met this woman here in Singapore actually.
Okay.
And she sells these toys for children that's safe to play and microwavable. The material is very like good for sensitive skin and all of that. and it's called the Gingerbread Man. So the toy looks like the Gingerbread Man.
Okay.
And I thought, very unique, like branding.
So is
Yeah.
that why it's microwavable?
I mean, why do you put in microwaves?
Yeah.
It's a
Why
toy.
would people put toys in microwave? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't actually know this until I realized my daughter has allergic bronchitis.
Okay.
And my doctor recommended us to microwave it or either put it in the freezer. Her
Oh,
toys.
Really?
Her soft toys, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it something got to do with UV stuff?
Yeah. If you have a UV, like,
The blue thing.
the blue thing, you can also probably use that for toys.
Okay, so that's the most interesting thing that you've seen.
For me, I found that like
Unique lah.
unique. Yeah.
Unique.
Okay.
That probably is weird, but when you ask me now, I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And how was your journey like towards becoming a wellness coach?
That journey was a very interesting one. And a little bit challenging, but a lot of beauty in it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've always known that I've wanted to work with women, and that notion was confirmed when I started the Women's Network. It brought me so much joy to meet with women, to facilitate workshops, to host panels, to speak to women, get to know their story and share it with the world. And that was the number one confirmation that, okay, I want to work with women. But how I was going to work with women, I was still figuring that out.
Okay.
Like, what is going to be my key selling point? There's so many people working with women, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of found me, I would say, because when I became pregnant and then went on to become a mom, there are a lot of changes that happened in my body, and I wasn't really prepared for those changes, and it took me by surprise, and at the same time made me feel a bit crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just I saw a couple of doctors and nothing really helped me. So postpartum, I spoke to my gynae and I was telling her that, I'm getting like upset a lot. Is that normal? And, and she said, yeah, it's fine. You're only 6 weeks, postpartum, like it'll be fine. And 6 months later, although my daughter brought me a lot of joy, I was just like down
Okay.
and very fatigued.
Right.
Would you call this postpartum blues?
Yes, it's postpartum depression.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. And it was not normal because I would cry for no reason or like get upset really fast. And I also wasn't sleeping that well. I mean, given you have a baby, but whenever the baby sleeps, you sleep, right? They say.
Yeah.
But I'll just be staring at the wall like, oh my God, I should be sleeping and I can't sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess just so many changes happening, and I had like a nerve issue as well. It's called cervical radiculopathy.
Okay.
So it's called a pinched nerve in your discs. And
Backbone.
I had to go in my spine.
Spine. Okay.
I had to go to the chiropractor almost every week
Okay.
Wow.
to get
Okay.
adjustments and to see the physio
Alignment.
to get to see the physio so that they can massage it. I was like with an ice pack for like 3 to 6 months straight.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
It doesn't help.
all of that, and also I got my period after breastfeeding. So when you're breastfeeding, you don't have your periods, right? And then I
Yeah.
got back my period, and it was still very painful, still uncomfortable. The flow was extremely heavy. I couldn't understand what was going on with my body.
Something new
Something new.
after motherhood lah.
Yeah, because previously, while I still had period issues, I was on contraceptives
Okay.
for a long period of time, and this was given to me to manage my pain, not for contraceptive purposes.
Okay.
And I was on it for about 3 years. And
Okay.
so I'd get my period once in a blue moon. That means like every 3 months, if I stop taking the pills, then I'll get my period. And so I was very used to not having discomfort because they'd given me a medication that allowed me to stop having that discomfort.
Combat
Okay.
that lah.
Yeah. But what I didn't realize I was doing is I was not letting my body to have its natural rhythm. And it was causing more havoc than good, because this is one of the contributing factors to all this imbalance that I face later on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like things don't happen right away with your body, but your body keeps the score. Like after a while, it'll start breaking down and malfunctioning, just like
Yeah.
any system, kan?
Yep.
Yeah. So so that's when I was like, okay, this is not right. I'm going to go see a hormone specialist and get this checked out, because I think it's my hormone. Because I read online, you Google everything
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
days, and you're like, okay, I think it's my hormones.
There is such thing as a hormone specialist.
Yeah.
Okay, I
And
didn't know
so
that.
They're like doctors who have like a special certification in hormones or
Hormones disorder or something like that.
hormone disorders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Is this before the women's group?
No, this is after.
While.
After?
Oh, after,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, I was on contraceptive while I was doing all of this women's group and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but trying to find a proper solution was postpartum as a mom,
Okay.
because
okay.
I looked at myself and I was just like, you've been having this problem all your life. Do you really want to keep just putting a band-aid on it, or do you want to really get to the root of it and solve it?
Fix it.
Because it is messing with your health, and you have a young child that you have to raise, you have to be present for.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep having mental breakdowns? Are you going to keep having nerve pains that don't allow you to carry her properly, care for her properly? Or do you really want to get down to fixing this issue once and for all?
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just fix this. Like, I'm going to take responsibility into my own hands. I'm going to try to see if there are any professionals that can help me. So I went to this hormone doctor. She also put me on a bunch of pills, like artificial hormones and
Okay.
sleeping pills. I mean, she gave me melatonin, which is also a hormone.
Yeah.
But that didn't seem to really work as well.
Really?
Yeah. Because it affected my mood negatively.
Oh man.
Yeah, it made me more upset than I already was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't helping. And I was like, okay, you know what? There are people who do these things naturally, right? There's so
Yes.
many like self-healing stories, miracles,
Without pills.
and without pills. And like, I am trying to cure something that is not life-threatening. But at that point, when I went to her, I was also diagnosed with something called PCOS,
Okay.
which is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay.
And it's something that you may have lifelong as well. But right now it's in remission for me, which means that I am not actively having those imbalances.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I went into this like wormhole of research, and I started just making small changes every day. So for my mental health, I was like, okay, I am going to stop looking for quick fixes. I don't want to go look for this pill to sleep and this pill
Yeah.
to... Yeah, I'm just going to see what I can do daily that can help me. And I started getting back into a exercise routine.
Okay.
I loved exercising before becoming a mom. It was something that I've been doing since high school. I've always been in the gym and stuff like that. So I went back to being consistent. So number one, we got help in the house.
Okay.
I told my husband, I cannot look after her on my own. I need a bit of help so that I can have a bit of time to myself
Yeah.
to work on my health. Because I wish I could do it on my own, but I am kidding myself if I am telling you I can healthily do this. So I need some support. Let's get some help in. So we got someone to come in and help like a few times a week. That gave me a few hours to myself because he had just joined a new job
Okay.
that was demanding his time, and he couldn't be as present with our child or with my needs as well because he had to focus and prove, right, that he was still in probationary period. We didn't want to mess with that
Yeah.
at that point.
This is your husband.
This is my husband.
Mm,
so I
okay.
told him, okay, you know what? I know you can't help, but we can get someone to help us. So this person came in, and that allowed me to like rest a bit, go to the gym,
Take a break.
take a break. And for me, taking a break was like exploring my interests
Okay.
also, which means like I'll be doing research on how I can better my health.
It's a good thing, right?
Yeah. And slowly I started making changes to my diet, to the way I lived life.
Lifestyle.
Yeah. And I noticed my mood changing. Things like weight that I was holding on to postpartum sort of shedding, even though I wasn't like on some strict diet or anything. I was just eating for my body. Yeah.
Do you do fasting?
I did do fasting, intermittent fasting. I did intermittent fasting, and I did more whole foods. That means I
Nice.
avoid
Real food,
real food. Yeah. So cooking.
Snacking? No.
Snacking also, yeah, but I
A bit
try to make my snacks.
Okay.
Okay.
Or my mom, I'll tell her what I like, and she works, but on weekends they come over, so she'll make the things I like and bring
Okay.
it.
Wow, so good.
Yeah. So for a period of time, I tried doing that. Like I still allow myself to have cakes when I go out with friends and family, or like, but I try not to eat too many things that come in a packet. And whatever I buy at the market, make it fresh. Or meal prep also is fine. So make everything at one go so that it's easier for us to eat.
Yeah.
And I noticed such a difference in like my energy levels, my mood lah, especially. The main thing for me was my mood, because
Okay.
I also had a therapist at that point, and I did a few sessions, not for a long period of time, and she did help because, but towards the end she was like, you don't need me, you're doing everything. You are, if you are depressed, you won't be doing anything.
Yeah.
Depression really means that you cannot get
Function,
out, you
yeah.
cannot function, you cannot get out of that mental state. But she's like, Divya, I am like a crutch that you're not letting go of.
Okay.
She's like, you are taking initiative for yourself. You're doing things that I not even asking you to do.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so she's like, you don't need me, but continue doing what you're doing because it's working for you.
Okay. So with regards to the PCOS, right? Do you think the contraceptives that you took years ago was or could be the cause of it? And aside from that, what other root problems that you actually identify throughout this journey?
Okay, so I feel definitely being on contraceptives messed with my hormones because I was on it for such a long period of time, and I took it back to back, meaning I never, like I used to take a break when I really had to, and that's when I would get my period. But the fact that the doctor said you can keep taking this to avoid the pain, I also just kept taking it. Like, okay, turn a blind eye, not look at the real problem sort of thing. And I did a lot of other things that were not supportive of my health.
Okay.
I think number one would be I loved working.
Okay.
Or like,
Overwork.
and it wasn't per se like my full-time job, but my passion, right? I would spend every other moment I could on that. And then the other thing would have been alcohol. I drank quite often as well then. Now I'm considered sober curious.
Okay.
So I haven't drank in like 3 or 4 months. And
Okay.
the last time I drank it was a glass of my wine. Like I will not binge like I used to
Right.
previously because I know the effects it had on my mental health. And but those were things I did before motherhood, and like they did impact my hormones and the imbalance. And I guess eating also at odd times, staying up late willingly,
Contribute to the...
contributes to all of that. And the thing is, women don't realize these things because men and women function very differently. The men have 24-hour hormone cycle. So every day when you wake up, your hormones peak. When you go to bed, your hormone levels are low.
Okay.
For women, we have the circadian rhythm. So we have this 24-hour cycle, and on top of it, we have the 28-day cycle.
Oh, yeah.
The changes in hormones according to our menstrual cycle, so that we can get pregnant or we have a period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the root issues that you actually identify, and previously it was not well taken care of, but now these are the changes you make to make sure everything aligns. So that is how you resolve that issue. You also change your diet. But how about rest? How exactly do you start having quality rest? If previously, I think you mentioned you enjoy, like, not even really sleeping, and I don't know, perhaps you focus too much on work, or previously you party too much. Yeah,
it was kind of like trying to do, like, I had FOMO.
Okay.
So if my friends were out, I wanted to be there.
Okay.
Right.
But then if I had work the next day, I wanted to be there. So I'll be in all places, even if I am super tired.
Yeah. But how do you resolve that now?
So now, there are few systems that I look up to. Number one, I track my cycle.
Okay.
And when it comes closer to my period, I try not to have any engagements.
Okay.
For example, you asked me to have a session with you last week, right? But last week was when I was on my period. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, no, this time is not a good time.
Okay,
So
understand.
the week after.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I play around with my schedule that way. So things that I definitely have to do. Like, I am running a business and I have programs going on. So I do that. Outside of that, I don't show up on social media. I allow myself to FOMO. I prioritize things that make me feel good, that increase my energy levels.
Okay.
So that can be like spending quality time with my daughter, making home cooked meals for us, just resting in a way that I'm a person, resting involves doing. Like, I cannot just vegetate on the
Can just,
couch. Yeah.
like
I'm not chill like that. So I do things that are fun for me. So maybe that also means like catching up on TV shows or spending time with people I love during this period of time. Rest can be different for everyone, right? But I've learned that, number one, closer to your period is when you're supposed to rest. Your body is actually designed to rest because your hormone called progesterone goes up
Okay.
towards the end of your cycle, and this hormone, actually, we call it the resting hormone because it makes you sleepier, it makes you tired faster.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a very important hormone that does its job for the releasing of the egg, for it to get fertilized at this point.
Yep.
So it's essentially saying, if you want to get pregnant also, during that time, you have to be sort of relaxed and
Okay.
resting, and your body is encouraging you to do that
Okay.
through the release of these hormones.
Right.
Yeah. In the
Okay.
first half of your cycle, you have estrogen and testosterone, which is like go sort of hormones that help you, like, help me speak confidently here. Help you make decisions with a clearer head, help you be more creative. So I always, with my clients, what I call them is your superpowers.
Okay.
Every cycle, you have 4 phases similar to the seasons of the world. You have like your inner spring, inner summer, your autumn, and your winter. So treat period like winter. Like, imagine you're in a wintry sort of
Okay.
landscape. What will you do? You'll cozy up.
Yes.
You'll, chill by the fire, turn on a nice movie.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
analogy.
Yeah.
Then when it's spring and summer, you are out and
Go
about
time,
and
yeah.
go time. You can give it your all. Autumn is like, okay, it's going to start getting cold. So gather all your
Prepare.
resources.
Yeah.
Prepare. Yeah.
Okay.
that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
that's really interesting. I think I think it's a good segue also for us to end the second part. Treat your body like the seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway.
Oh,
Yes.
I have one for entrepreneurs.
Mm.
And this is for male and female.
Okay.
It's something called the ultradian rhythm.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, share with us before
This
we
was
end
mind
one.
blowing for me.
Okay.
And I think it's going to help you become more productive.
Okay.
So the ultradian rhythm basically says that our body can only work productively for 90 to 120 minutes at one time.
Okay.
And after that, your body will start sending you signals and start showing signs of stress for you to take a break, which is like, it'll urge you to maybe eliminate, go to the toilet. Maybe you start experiencing brain fog, like suddenly you can't think straight and your focus is going away. That's because your thoughts need to be compartmentalized.
So
And
that's pretty much the time where we start to scroll our social media like crazy, right? Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
when you notice that happening, your brain is signaling to you to take like time, like like a break, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of not doing anything. Maybe go for a walk or clear your head. Or I would definitely not advise scrolling through because your brain is still functioning and absorbing, right? But doing things that like don't require brain energy.
Put your phone away.
Yeah, put your phone away. Walk, do laundry or something. I don't know, something that requires you to use your hands or legs.
Work out.
You can work out actually. You go-
Okay.
yeah. And then you jump back in and then you have another period of productivity and it keeps going like that.
Okay.
But if you ignore these breaks, you will notice that you become less and less productive throughout the day. If you take account of these breaks, then it's very likely that you will keep having these cycles of productivity.
Wow,
okay. That's
I'm blown away. I mean, I've heard this somewhere, but coming up from Divya herself,
Yes.
it's like it's refreshing. It's like we do our work every day, and sometimes I do feel those like brain fog. Why I can't think? I just need to go out. So I just like went down, buy something in the vending
Buy some
machine,
snacks.
or just look at the trees because having this office, right? It's a bit claustrophobic. There's no windows outside, so I just went down and look at the road and just immerse myself, or I would say taking a break.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that's a good segue for us to actually part in the part 2.
Yes.
And guys, stay tuned for part 3 in the Golden Nuggets podcast.